We have so many self-limiting thoughts in our minds, especially when it comes to being a creative and thriving and making a living with your skills. I think that we as creatives, we have a lot of biases around what we are able to achieve. And we all have certain beliefs. And these are the things that we tell ourselves over and over again in our minds. This shapes our actions and ultimately also shapes our results.
Welcome to Open Studio Podcast, space for lettering artists, illustrators, and creatives who are determined to thrive in their passion. I'm Martina Flor, and I've been through the ups and downs of building a successful creative business. From struggling to make ends meet to achieving my dream of becoming an award-winning lettering designer, I've learned valuable lessons along the way. Now, I'm here to share those lessons, strategies, and tips so that your journey can be smoother. Whether you're looking to turn your passion into a career or want insights to boost your creative business, this podcast is your guide. Join me on the Open Studio Podcast and let's make your creative dreams a reality.
Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Open Studio and another season number 7. I'm your host, Martina Flor, and I'm thrilled to be starting this new season. After a beautiful summer, I spent my summer in Barcelona with my family. So as you know, I live in Berlin, and in the past summers, we have been going to Barcelona with my family just because I want my kids to be in touch with the Spanish language, which is my mother language, and also to enjoy summer in Barcelona and live close to the beach and hang around and ride our bikes and all that stuff. So I just came back from that time in Barcelona, and I'm ready to start a new season of this podcast and all of the things that I have ready for you. So today in this episode, we're going to talk about all the things that have to do with building a successful career as a creative, as a lettering artist, as an illustrator. And today we're going to dive into a topic that I think is very important for any lettering artist, graphic designer, creative entrepreneur, illustrator, which are the mindsets that you need to let go of to truly thrive with your creative skills. We have so many self-limiting thoughts in our minds, especially when it comes to being a creative and thriving and making a living with your skills. I think that we as creatives, we have a lot of biases around what we are able to achieve. And we all have certain beliefs. And these are the things that we tell ourselves over and over again in our minds. This shapes our actions and ultimately also shapes our results. So some of these mindsets that we have, they serve us, and some, well, they really hold us back. And if you have been feeling stuck and you see yourself holding conversations in your own mind about what you're able to achieve as a creative, as a lettering artist, as an illustrator, this episode I think is going to be for you. It's going to first help you identify all the things that you're telling yourself that are not helping you move forward. And also it's going to provide you with some mindsets that you can acquire to kind of change that reality for yourself. As I said before, what you think and what you say yourself shapes your actions. And therefore, today we want to acquire thoughts and beliefs that provides us with a positive mindset to move forward, and a mindset that is also supporting of your goals. So today I will talk about 5 specific mindsets that many creatives, including myself, have struggled with. I will also give you some actionable steps to shift these mindsets so that you can start, shaping the way you think about yourself and what you can achieve. Now, why this is important? Your mindset really shapes your reality. It dictates how you approach your work, how you interact with clients, and ultimately, whether you can thrive or not with your creative skill. And it's interesting because the other day I was speaking to my 6-year-old son. He just turned 6. That's why I had to think about it. And we were talking about, we were actually locking our bikes, and I'm trying to make him lock his bike every time we stop in a place or we go to the kindergarten or whatever. And he was just asking me to do it because he was saying I cannot do this. And I told him hey, if you say that you cannot do this, you won't be able to do it. So let's try it out. Let's do it together. And you will see how eventually you will be able to do that. So that's a very simple example of how your mindset or the things that you tell yourself can shape your actions. Because if you don't believe that you can do it, then you won't even try. But if you start changing that mindset for a positive mindset or a mindset of growth, where you say, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I can learn it and I will try to do it, then at least you will try. You will make that first step towards doing that thing. So letting go of limiting beliefs will always open up new doors and allow you to see opportunities you didn't even know were there. So let's dive in and start clearing away this, mental clutter and also these limiting beliefs that are holding us back. So the first mindset that you will want to let go as a creative so that you can thrive with your creative skills is, if I build it, they will come. So this is a big one, and it's something I believed when I was first starting out. The idea that if you create great work, if you do beautiful work, clients will notice you. Clients will magically find you and you will be successful because you will get discovered. Unfortunately, this is not how it works. This is a very passive attitude that I would not recommend you to take. This is a very bad strategy if you want to thrive with your work. In an industry where there's others that are doing the work you do, if you do illustration, if you do lettering, there's other people that do lettering, that do illustration, that do whatever it is that you do. There's other people that are talented and they are good at what they do. This is why you need to be proactive about going after these opportunities. Because if you don't, others will. You cannot just sit back and hope to be discovered. And also having that proactive attitude will put you in the driver's seat of your own success. So instead, you can take control and take a positive attitude. So you can reach out to potential clients. You can share your work in different platforms. You can network with other creatives. So don't wait for the right moment or to find the perfect opportunity. You can start right now at the level that you are. You can start promoting your work, looking for opportunities, starting conversations with people. Mindset number 2 that you will want to let go of if you want to succeed with your creative skill, which is, I can figure it all out on my own. We creatives often pride ourselves of being independent because we do things our way, and this is what makes our work unique. And while that is a great thing that we have, trying to figure it out all on your own can really lead to frustration and also making progress, but really slow. I'm sure that you have the capability to figure out a lot of things on your own. That's for sure. And I think we all have that capability of figuring out something, doing something repeatedly until we figure it out. The thing is that will take more time. Whereas if you look for guidance for someone who has done the same thing and use their knowledge to kind of further your way into what you want to achieve, then you don't have to go through all that frustration. You can shorten that path. Now, I really appreciate, and also I have experienced that myself, I really appreciate going through the process of error and lesson, through the process of, doing the things and making mistakes and learning the lesson. Now, not everything needs to be learned through going through that frustration, through going to that long process. So something you can do is to seek for help. I remember that, and I will record an episode about this specifically in the upcoming episodes. I remember the first time I hired a coach, a mentor, and how that changed my business. And later on, I continued to take part in coaching programs. And later in my career, after that experience with that coach, I took part in a mastermind. So in a 6-month group coaching program and mastermind. And that also completely flipped my business and my career and my life in a way. So really seeking for help, although, before that experience, I had been figuring out things on my own. I really appreciate how much time that experience saved me, how much those experiences, having a coach and having joining a mastermind, those experiences accelerated my progress and they were worth every penny. So whether it's a mentor or a coach or even joining a creative community, surrounding yourself with people who can guide you or who can support you will really help you grow faster. And I learned this through my own experience, and of course I see it inside my community and my own academy, where I see how fast students can make progress just because they are surrounded by the right people, or they are surrounded by the right people, and they are also having the guidance of us and our instructors. Mindset number 3 that you need to let go of to thrive with your creative skills. Business stuff is not for me. And I bet you may resonate with this. This is what I hear from a lot of creatives. So I'm an artist. I don't need to worry about business. Art business is not my thing. But if you want to make a living as a creative, you need to learn the business side of things, which includes pricing, contracts, and even marketing. So instead, you really need to embrace the business side. Think of this as another skill that you need to develop. Just like you develop your creative skill to the level you have, you can develop the skill of business. And you can start by learning the basics: how you price your work, how you set up your contracts, how you market yourself effectively. So business skills are really the core of creating that container, what I call that container, that allows you to do the work you love. And eventually, if you don't learn these skills, what happens often is that the container to create the work you love is so dysfunctional that at the end, your creative work suffers, because you're so busy with all the business stuff, with figuring all out on your own and trying to fix the things that are not working, that eventually you stop doing the work you love and you are just busy doing the business stuff. So remember, like you learn your creative skill, you can develop the skill of business. And take it from me, an artist that has learned so much throughout the years about business, that now I feel confident enough to not only run my business at the level that I'm running my business, but also to help others do the same. Mindset number 4 that you need to let go of: I have to work a lot to make it as a graphic artist. This one comes from the hustle mentality. And I can tell you about this because the peak of my career as a lettering artist happened throughout this period of time where the hustle mentality was like the mainstream. So at that time, it was a common belief to think that in order to succeed, you have to be working 24/7. But working more doesn't always mean achieving more. In fact, burnout is a real thing and it can slow your progress significantly. I have experienced that throughout my career. And after that experience, I went through the process of simplifying my business, simplifying the work I was doing. And that didn't mean that I was having less income, rather the opposite. Instead of that mindset, you can shift onto the mindset of working smarter and not harder. You can focus on the tasks that will give you more leverage and that have the most impact, and also you can move on to setting priorities so that your time goes into the things that really move the needle of your business. You don't need to be busy all the time to be successful. So I remember that with my first coach, we went exactly through that process of understanding how many things I was doing, how much time they were taking, and also how much income was coming in through all these different things. And of course, the joy was a factor in this. What were the tasks or the things that I was doing that were bringing joy, and what were those that were draining out my creative energy? And once you evaluate all the things that you're doing, what are the results of these things that you're doing, you can immediately start kind of cleaning out the number of things that you do. So you start leaving things out, which really frees a lot of time and allows you to invest or reinvest that time into the things that are actually working. So mindset number 5 that you need to let go of: I don't care how much I'm paid because I will be doing it anyway. So as creators, we love what we do, but just because we love our work doesn't mean that we shouldn't be compensated fairly for it. And this mindset is what keeps a lot of artists and graphic artists and lettering artists and illustrators undervaluing and undercharging for their work. And the real risk of undercharging for your work is that eventually you will stop doing the work you love. Because you're not charging enough, you're not able to make a living with your work, and therefore you will stop doing that work and you would go get a job somewhere. So that's the real risk of acquiring this mindset of like, well, I don't care how much I'm paid. I don't do this for the money. I would be doing this anyways. So I don't mind. And this is the real risk behind it. If you are not properly compensated for your work, you will eventually stop doing that work and go get an old job. So instead, you can shift your mindset towards understanding the value of your work, understanding that your work solves a problem for your clients and that has a value. Your work helps your clients sell products, connect with their audiences, and make money. So therefore, you should be able to make money as well from the value that you're providing for your clients. So early in my career, I was also saying yes to every opportunity and I was doing all of the jobs, well paid, badly paid. But once I made that shift of understanding how valuable my work is and how many results my clients were getting from that, and I started charging accordingly, I not only was feeling more empowered, but also I was attracting better clients because I was working for less clients, so I could deliver better work. I was delivering high quality work. I was giving them also a better experience. And I was also perceived as a more valuable professional because I was stating my rates and they were a significant investment in their campaign or in their product. And therefore, they were trusting me with the project, and that led to less micromanaging from the clients, better paid projects, and more premium projects coming my way. So that's it for today's episode. I hope these mindset shifts inspire you to take control over your creative success and your success with your creative skills. And always remember that the things you tell yourself have the power to propel you forward or hold you back. So be mindful about what are the thoughts, what are the conversations that you're having inside your mind. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it would be awesome to help other creatives find us. So go ahead, subscribe to the podcast so you will find out when the next episode is coming out. See you on the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.